It is podcasting time. We've got Colin Thomas from Essential Maintenance. He's branded Essential Maintenance today, and We Will Fix It Dubai, of course.
Who are they? I'm Essential Maintenance today, matey.
We're going to be talking about DIY. We're going to, of course, that's what the title is on the program. Talking about stuff, really. Could be talking about cars. You drove up in a Beetle.
Oh, isn't that a story?
That could be the whole show. I was just trolling the net, and because I'm thinking, I was at Ace thinking I need a new drill. And so I was thinking about all the reasons and the logic I could use to justify getting a new drill to the wife. So I found some good stuff, and I thought, that's cool. And then I was just thinking about hacks, little tricks that everyone needs around now. We talked about shelving, but there's just the little things we need to know. And then I was thinking, okay, well, what are the must-have tools? So we got lots to talk about in this program.
Outdoor cooling as well.
Oh,
that
outdoor
video
cooling.
You sent me of you dying last week barbecuing.
Yeah, so outdoor cooling as well. So we got tons to talk about. Let's get going. Let's do it.
Yeah, I know. We get through a third of that. We're doing really well, aren't we?
Well, welcome to the program, as always. Glad you made it through the traffic this morning. We do come to you from Dubai. We do record in the mornings at the Rove Hotel, downtown Dubai. And I hit epic traffic this morning. I was thinking of you as I hit the epic traffic.
I went the other way. I sent you the
oh.
precursor last night saying, oh, James, the traffic's horrific around school at the moment.
Yeah.
And then this morning, everything worked. I was up early. Natalie went walking at, must have been 4:45 or something like
Wow.
that. I know, she's in this whole health freak kick thing. And so she was back for bang on time, 6:10. I'm out the door with the dogs at exactly 6:10. Walked downstairs as she came in the door. Had a lovely walk with the dogs, and then the kids were up at the right time. It was like everything worked today. So we ended up out the house early and waiting in the car park at school because we were before the traffic to get the kids in. As soon as the kids were there, I'm back in the car. And then off I went, and it was like the seas parted as I came out again.
See, that's incredible.
I know, that never happens. Well, actually, it happened last week as well, if you remember. I was here as well.
Yeah.
But as you said, I'm in the Beetle.
Yeah, so give me the story about this, because we did talk about this, and anyone who listens to this podcast will have heard a while ago you talking about racing a Beetle. There were some issues with that Beetle in that as you recovered it and starting it, and it didn't have a wrap on it or something.
Let's not beat around the bush. It was dead. I mean, it was dead. So yeah, the wrap was the least of my problems, but the wrap had been sat in a car park in Garhoud for 2 years. Okay, and then apparently before that he told me it was overheating. So I'm like, that's my car. That's definitely the car that I want. So we had this concept from a couple of years ago. As you know, I hang around garages, and whether it's Glenn's or James's or, I hang around in garages, it's my thing. And we've been talking for years about getting a Middle East Lemon series. Now, the Lemon series is basically for rubbish cars to go around tracks, and they've got to be really rubbish. Okay.
But the car you're driving, just a little asterisk here. The car you're driving out there doesn't look rubbish.
Well, it's not anymore.
Okay, so it has to start rubbish, and...
Well, this is where the oddity comes to, because what I really wanted to do was to race like a one-make series, because that way everybody's even, and you've got a standard ability to work out whether or not it's the driver or you've just got a fast car. And for me, fast cars are great fun, but if you're putting them on a track, it kind of defeats the object, because it's not really got anything to do with the driving, it's just how big your turbo is. So that was the kind of concept that I started with. And then when I spoke to the Autodrome and they talked about the regulations and all the rest of it, Lemons is just not possible here. They will not let you go with something utterly garbage and race on their track together. If you do it on a track day, as long as it's got a Dubai license, you're fine.
Okay.
So instead, what we've worked out is, okay, well, let's start with a real base spec car. So
it can be anything.
No.
Oh.
No. So for us, it's going to be all exactly the same. So 2-litre manual gear Beetles that actually come out of the US that we're racing, and you can literally pick. There's one that went through the auction last night for $375.
Excuse me?
Shipping it here is another $1,000, but we're talking that kind of money. You can get a car running, and in the initial track days, for around 10,000 dirhams. That's what we're looking at. Okay. But the idea is a minimum of 10 racing together.
And how many do you have now lined up?
6.
Okay.
But we have sponsors, so we have each of the garages, including Powerworks, have their own racing team. They throw in the labour and they get all the branding and they get to use the car when we're not racing for parts deliveries and that kind of thing. And a team of 4 for each vehicle owns it and has contributed 5,000 dirhams each to be part of that team. So we now have 6 teams that are up and running, including our very own WeWillFixIt. And
who's doing the mechanical work for the WeWillFixIt team?
See, as you know, because I sit with a whole bunch of garages, my car is like a little butterfly going from garage to garage, depending on what work I'm doing. So it's going into Glen tomorrow for the latest list, which is quite something. I wrote that while I was just waiting for this. So we have got a misfire and a lumpy idle, a loose door card. The passenger door doesn't even open. Oh, literally, the radio's not working. We need that for the drivers. The wheels need balancing. The trim's coming off both doors. And then we need to remove these stupid tweeters that somebody put on the dash. So there's plenty to do. Oh, and the glove box is falling off. But this is my car post-renovation.
Right.
But it's just been fantastic. I've absolutely loved every minute of it. And next Monday, so we're now on Tuesday, so 6 days' time, it goes on the track for the first time. Wow. And it will be the first Beetle.
And this is one of those track days. You're going to go to a track day.
Yeah, so they have like the novice that you have to get through first. And that is, so 3 lots of 25 minutes, which is just going to be amazing. And my teammates are going to be with me as well.
And are you the driver?
There's all of us are drivers.
Oh, okay, you're all drivers.
So we're a team of 4.
Who's on your team?
So I've got Ollie, who is, his son is in Dylan's class at school. We also have Dave. Remember Claire, my marketing manager?
Yes.
Dave is her husband.
Okay.
And then we've also got Alex. Alex is a friend of Ollie's and he's also a parent at Dylan's school as well.
All right.
So that's the 4 of us as we sit. And it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. But again, it's one of those. The Beetle Bang Club is just
the Beetle Banger Club.
Yeah, it's just again. We were talking just before we came on about having. I love having other projects outside of work, which are just fun, and they work for me. I've always used the term mental sorbet, and I love that, which is just that cleansing and cleansing of your mind. Doing other things so that when you do come back to work, you're fresh and you're ready to go. So I absolutely adore it.
So you need 4 more teams.
Yeah, I need 4 more teams. I mean, I'm not worried about it because we haven't even got the cars running yet.
Yeah.
I think we'll do that with ease. But the idea is that there's a 12-month period where we're going to shake the cars down at track days. And in the meantime, I'm going to work with both the Autodrome and the FIA representatives, which is the governing body here. But we need things like roll cages, fire suppression systems, fuel cells that have to go into the cars before we can race them. So it is ridiculously safe is the way, which is as it should be. But then that's a whole additional amount of cash that we need to find for each of those.
Wow.
But
it's pretty involved.
Yeah, it is. But then if you're going to do it properly, and that's exactly what we're doing. But loving it. I've been rallying that. So as I told you, I smashed my own car a few days ago. Off-road, well done.
And this is kind of the danger of driving sometimes. Looking for the shortcuts, the way to beat some traffic on a school drop-off, and that's essentially what happened.
Exactly. So there is a really good shortcut on the way from my house to school that at the moment with the traffic saves me probably about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I've been doing this for years. It's been absolutely normal.
We're going to talk about what happened. Do you think there is sabotage involved? Someone doesn't like people using the shortcut and they mind it?
No.
Okay.
The reason being, I was not on the normal line because a bus had got stuck and marooned itself on the usual
school
line.
bus or a worker bus?
It was a worker bus.
Okay. Even worse, those are bigger, so that means it needs something bigger to pull it in.
Oh yeah, there was literally it was carrying security cards, and the sign of like 30 security guards all pushing at the back, getting totally covered in sand was hilarious. Unfortunately, that's what I was looking at as I hit the upended breeze block.
Oh no.
Yeah, idiot. So, and apparently I was inch perfect to make sure that breeze block ripped out the shock support tube cleanly. So at that point, I got to school and I thought, I've got away with this. And then I got back onto a normal road and I'm like, I've got my shock absorbers. what is going on? I thought I was due some, but it felt really bad. Anyway, I went to Glenn. Yeah, that's exactly what you get with this. Have you ever done one? No, nobody's been that stupid. Oh, yeah, thanks, Glenn. Nice one. He toned it down a bit than that, but that's what he meant. Yeah. So tomorrow, hopefully close to play tomorrow, my car will be back, and that way you can take this one to do all the bits that are needed before Monday. When we murder it again, and on Tuesday it'll be going back to him for whatever else he's doing. But that's the name of the game with your car guy.
Well, this is a nice lead-in because of weather and things. We're talking car repair, and we're talking playing around outside. I sent you a video of me barbecuing.
Yeah, I know.
And I was, and you're walking the dogs like I do in the morning.
Yeah.
Morning and night, sunrise, sunset, it can get pretty humid still.
I think it's worse at sunset, don't you?
I do think it is worse.
What time do you walk in the evenings?
About 7 o'clock now.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Only because that's when the pavement's a little cooler.
Yes, exactly, which is really important. I mean, I always, it's the period where it's dodgy, so right through the way throughout the summer, I kneel first on the pavement, and then hands down as well. If I can't stand and do that for like 10, 15 seconds, we ain't going out yet.
I just do the barefoot walk across the pavers, and if 2 steps in, it's like, whoa, got to run to keep these feet cold, then it's like, no, this is not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really still pretty sticky at times. But then we had a couple of days that were okay, and then last night was horrific.
Yeah, it's on and off, and I think, this is one of those dilemmas, which got me thinking as I sent you that video, because here we are, it was a humid evening, and I'm at the barbecue, and I am just, it was a 2-shirt barbecue, basically. Yes. I had to change shirt twice.
Mind you, I sweat through that second one in like a minute. I could literally do 12 in that situation.
There comes a point where you just give up and you just say, okay, I'm going to wait till the end, and then when I'm going to go in and I'm going to do a quick change.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it got me thinking about some of the cooling possibilities. And look, I do spend a little bit of time at hotel pools. Thank you, Privily. And a lot of times when I look at some of the restaurants, they have portable cooling units.
Yes.
I don't know if they work, but they look nice.
Well, there's loads of different options, and believe it or not, I've tried most of them.
Okay, so here we go. So this what the purpose of the video, which now feeds into this wonderful program, is what can I be doing outdoors during peak barbecue season to help mitigate oppressive heat and humidity?
Yes. Well, what everybody would naturally think about is, I need an outdoor AC unit.
Yeah, that was the first thing I thought.
No, you don't. It will not work. It's a lot of money and a lot of energy, which causes lots of problems.
Okay.
If you imagine the way that an AC works, then the idea is it's the circulation that's created that keeps the cooling.
Right.
Well, outdoors, you don't have that.
Right, so you're just burning through.
Oh, you're burning through with so little. Unless you are literally face up against the grills, it will not work.
And by having an air conditioning unit working in an environment where there's going to be no cool air around it, does that put more strain on the air conditioning unit?
It's getting murdered.
Okay.
There is no 2 ways about it. That unit is not going to be reliable no matter how often you service it.
Right.
Just no.
Forget it.
It's a definite no. The only time when those units, and you've probably seen them in kind of indoors, outdoors environments. Yeah. So there's one actually, where's that one? I forgot the name of the place. The other side, opposite the villa, is the really posh development in Dubai we do loads of work in.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Right, you know what I mean anyway. So they have these floor standing units that actually have a separate outdoor unit anyway. And in an environment where their indoor-outdoor is like an outdoors pergola, which has got glass in the windows that they need to cool. Those work really well. They have one in each corner. But the fact is, it's a closed space, so you do get that recirculation that happens through these. Sensible. That's the only scenario. If you don't have the size walled in some way, glass, whatever it would be, it ain't working. So in which case, there's 2 real options. What you need is...
Option 1.
Option 1 is evaporative cooling. Okay? 2 different versions of that, which is either you have the version where, and basically the difference...
Evaporative cooling.
The difference between outdoor units and indoor units
Are we talking air conditioning now?
No, general systems.
Evaporative... Yeah.
It doesn't really matter on your system, but the difference is outdoor, you need a huge quantity of air to be moved, whereas indoor is all about that circulation. Okay? Gotcha. So, for outdoor, the evaporative cooling basically comes in 2 different types, which is either you have the type which has a water tank on the bottom, which then circulates the water up to the top of basically a cardboard evaporator. So the water then drips down the cardboard. Big fan pushes air through that cardboard evaporator, which then cools it, and out it comes. Okay? That's my preferred method because it's just more effective, without a doubt, and it's actually all contained, and you don't get wet. Okay, I love it. Natalie obviously hates it.
Well, what does she hate about it? It sounds like it would work well.
Okay, so if I'm buying something like this, which I did, yeah, I'm going to get the big one.
Oh.
Okay, so I've got a 9,000 BTU, which is a big boy.
So it sounds like an airboat out of the bayou with you and Bubba looking for alligators.
Exactly. This is where the issue was. She's like, you expect me to eat in this environment with that noise?
It's like we're on the tarmac of DXB and an E380 is revving up.
I'm keeping 12 people cool, James.
Yeah, but you can't hear each other talk.
Right. Well, there was that slight issue, I must admit, but I was keeping everybody cool. And that was May the 31st, Natalie's birthday.
All right.
Anyway, after that, she was furious. So therefore, I then moved that to the office, which we've now got it in the office for all the smoking people. And it works brilliantly. It's absolutely fantastic. We love it. So then at home, the other type of evaporative cooling is basically, you've seen the oscillating fan that has the water unit in front of it.
Yes.
Okay. So this works in a different method, which is it makes you wet, and then with the fan that is pushing the air as well, so that it cools you as an individual on your face or whichever part of your body. But it makes you very wet.
So that format reminds me of something I've seen at Disney, I've seen in Palm Springs, very California.
I know what you're about to say.
Where they have those little sprayers.
This was option 2, James. That was option 2. Gee whiz. Right. So let's stick to this one. Now, that was the year after, May the 31st, the year after. Natalie wants to have everybody over again. Thought she'd learned from the year before, but I was wrong.
No.
And so I've got these, and I soaked everybody. They were perfectly cool. They were soaked.
And Natalie said, was she happy or was she unhappy?
Well, she said she was happy because she couldn't say she was unhappy because it was her choice of how it was going to be done. And the previous year, she ripped me a new one. And however, we never did it again.
Yeah.
Those just ended up as, when we moved out, getting thrown out. So they were used once, the 2 at each end of the table. Okay? Now, that is where we are right now.
Okay, so now you've got options.
Well, no, those are those two options. Now,
what about just about a fan?
Exactly.
Here we go.
Right. So we've now got the new bar setup with the pergola over the top, and now we've got to think about cooling options for that.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know whether I told you, but the one bit I worked on the design of the aluminium pergola, and the one bit.
And that got all finished, right? I mean, that is 100% done.
Yeah, it was, but I had a little bit of an issue with just an absolute work cluster the week that we were signing off on the design.
Yeah.
There were 2 designs that were available. There was the one that was the utter no-brainer, which basically, so it's all aerofoils.
Yes,
the aerofoils
yeah.
So
Beautiful.
Across the back and across the top, it's all aerofoils, okay? Now, I know fully well that if you have an aerofoil which is 5 meters long, it is going to be flexible.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, which is not a good thing if it's windy.
Exactly. Well, yeah, there is that, but also just from an aesthetic perspective, but then there's a practical perspective to that as well, which is if you need to attach things like a Hunter outdoor fan, then I can't do that on a flexible aerofoil.
That's true.
So therefore, option 1 is the no-brainer, which is you have a solid section going right the way through the middle, down the back and across the top, okay? Babe, I'm absolutely flat out. Okay, so just make the phone call. It's option 1. It's absolutely done, without a doubt. Okay, gotta go. Bye. Okay, it comes to the building day, and they start building option 2.
Did Natalie make a call after you made a call to?
Exactly.
Oh!
And the reason she made the call was it looks prettier.
Okay, I get that. I get that 100%.
She's right.
Yeah.
Totally impractical. Okay, so now I have nowhere to hang, and the no-brainer in that situation is a Hunter outdoor fan. You've got that incredible one for your...
And that's a Hunter. I got two of those.
Oh, the thing is, there might be other brands. Don't touch them.
No.
Only ever use a Hunter if you're going to get an outdoor fan. They are brilliant, and it's not even close. And they're expensive.
Oh,
they're
no.
worth every penny.
Look, the deal with Hunters, so when Hunter first came to the UAE, I knew the people who owned the company.
Yeah.
And they invested in Hunter fans. One, motor's guaranteed for life. So my two uprights that I have sitting outside, I never cover them. They sit out summer and winter. You know what goes on them? And it's the same thing that goes on every fan. The motor never goes.
Blades?
The solenoid.
Oh, the solenoid. That's easy.
Well, yeah, because they're only, and actually, pro tip, the Hunter guys here will come and replace them gratis.
Wow.
You just got to call them.
See, this is what proper manufacturing is.
But those little solenoids that come from China or wherever, and the guys that I knew who set up the company here.
I think it's probably capacitor, not
Yeah, the capacitor thing. Yeah, sorry, the capacitor. The capacitor, sorry, wrong word. But they're only made for, I don't know, 2,000 turn on, turn offs or something like that.
That's about right.
And then they work a little bit more than that. But even the ones, because I've got Hunter fans all throughout the house, that's the thing that goes.
Well, see, that's fine, because that's
easy.
Literally the way that we look at those is almost like a consumable.
Well, that's it. You pull the, you just got to pull the whole motor thing off. It slips off. You put another one in. You're done. It's great, and they live on. So yeah, and if you get an outdoor fan, the problem with people getting fans is they always think, oh, I'll just put an indoor fan in there.
No.
So you can't do that. And the blades are the first thing that go. They just start to with.
Well, the motor, you can end up with a fire.
Yeah,
as soon as you get sand into the motor mech, you're in deep trouble.
Okay, so back to the story. So number 2 pergola.
So number 2 pergola.
Natalie.
Now, this is what we've got, and I tried to hold my tongue. I really did. I mean, I was initially like, "You must be kidding me! What were you thinking?" And I get it from the aesthetic, and it is utterly stunning. But I knew it was totally impractical as I showed her just how flexible these aerofoils are.
Yeah.
And now I've only got the 4 pillars to be able to work with. But the problem is I need lights as well as fans. So I am going to have to use angle fans. Again, they'll be Hunter, hopefully, and an angle down. And I'll do that from the rear 2. But it means I can only light from the front 2 going backwards.
No, can the pergola manufacturers not come in and retrofit something on design too?
I could do that, but if you imagine the fact that I'm going custom now, the cost of it would be prohibitive. Okay. Because it's already a custom color that's been put on it, and it's just going to be painful and cost-wise probably prohibitive. So I'm kind of done.
Yeah.
So anyway, we only finished it pretty late on before the summer. So now I've got to get that sorted.
Is there any other options?
Yes. The other one, which is what you were talking about, is these mist walls.
Yes, mist walls, that's them.
Yeah, okay. So what these are is, it's a really simple system actually. It can work both within and domestic. They're normally used in a commercial environment, but they're now available for domestic as well. And what these are basically very similar to a dripper irrigation system. So a pipe that runs through the system that is pressurized, and then they have tiny little outlets that create a mist. And the idea is that if you create a mist on both sides, or all 4 sides of an area that you are looking to cool, then it will attract the heat away from the area that you're trying to cool.
Does it really do that?
Yes, it does. It works really well, as long as you don't have a windy environment. That's where your issue lies. If you have a windy environment, you get wet, and then we get back to the same scenario of the evaporator cooler in the face. But it certainly can work, without a doubt, and within a domestic environment, you can actually do it remarkably easily. So just with a little portable fan, and because it doesn't...
You got 4 walls on the pergola, doesn't it make sense to, and it's aluminum, so it's not going to rust, doesn't it make sense to have the misty wall system?
Well, the thing is, because I think I told you about the design flaw and the fact that we had to extend the bar by 2 meters.
Oh no, I don't remember.
No, yeah, I designed it wrong. It was my failure this time. I can't blame Natalie. Although she missed it as well, to be fair. And she was, actually, come think about it, I can blame Natalie, because she was the one who did the render of the drawing. I mean, I explained to her what I wanted, but I can't draw for toffee. So she drew it, and on the drawing, it did look like it wasn't going to be an issue until they had to build it in block. And then at that point, like, oh God, yeah, okay.
So is the bar under the pergola as well?
Yeah, the bar's all there. It's got the rear section. And
So this is a giant pergola. Like you need to send pictures of that.
No, it's big. Okay. It's very big. It's probably, I don't know, 6 meters by 7, maybe something like that.
Wow, that's huge.
It is huge. Well, the bar is 4.6 meters long with an L section on it.
Oh, beautiful.
We can sit 12. It was supposed to be for 6, but, you know, these things happen. So yeah, it's big, but then you lose such an area with those mist walls, and with our garden, you know, there's the potential there, and also we get the dogs wet if we did mist walls as well, and all this kind of stuff. So I kind of want the easier option. Yeah. But the problem that I've got now is if you imagine with a standard like ceiling mounted fan.
Yeah.
The pressure of the air is going downwards, which means things don't fly. Because I've got to go off one of the pillars, or 2 of the pillars, it pushes it in a direction. Right, well that rolls out napkins then.
Oh yeah, they're gone, napkins will be gone.
Yeah. So it's these kind of things that you don't think about at the time when you choose option 2, Natalie, that now we're dealing with. So, but that's, you know, it's one of those, isn't it? It's one of those where you just like...
I'll get sorted out.
Okay. Looks great though.
So what's going on in the office? Because I said this as we were coming up in the elevator together, and we noticed 2 things actually. One of them was as we were coming up in the elevator, just before we were getting into the elevator. So we're in the Rove, we're walking. We actually walked through Fridays, and nice looking breakfast there, by the way, if you're staying at the Rove downtown. No plug. Someone's gonna say you're plugging the Rove. It's like, well, no, but it is a nice breakfast. But incredible, we got. Is that
me?
Yeah, that's you.
How is that me?
I don't know. Sound on
I've got everything on. Silent.
I had that actually. Side note: I had that yesterday with some students doing a speech, and they'd set up their timers, because I encouraged them to time themselves. Because you know, typical public speaking, someone, okay, you got 1 minute left, you got 20 seconds left. Now I'll let people keep going.
Yes.
So I tell them, I said, you got to get used to using your own clock, because you don't want to depend on anyone. So we do that right from day one. So and if you want to go for 6 minutes, you go for 6 minutes. You'll get a D, but your job is to make sure you can work with the time.
You really should be doing that with me, shouldn't you? Because I could waffle on forever. My goodness, you should give me, right, if you're more than 36 minutes, then that's it, you're done. D minus.
So the coming in to the building, we were talking about, it's got a distinct fragrance.
Yes, the aroma.
It's got the Rove.
I love it.
And I don't know, it's kind of like a frangipani something. I don't know. I have to find out what it is.
I was saying that I met a couple of years ago a gentleman who designs these, and he has a lot of the malls here.
Is he still here?
Actually, well,
he'd be a good creative mornings talk.
Well, knowing the gentleman, I actually don't think he would.
Oh, okay.
However, the concept is definitely a good one. But it's about, and in fact, oddly enough, back in the day, right in my early job, so when I was, you remember I told you I was working for Turtle Wax for a while?
Yeah.
So one of my jobs was air fresheners there.
Of course.
So, it's ridiculous, the history, isn't it? And we did that entire process with the parfumeurs who come in and they're like, no, you can't afford that, sir, smell this. I'm like, that smells just like those crappy magic trees. Yeah, well, that's what you can afford, right, okay. But they put together their combinations to get to a unique fragrance that is unique.
And turtle wax has a very specific smell. Like when you open up, you're gonna get that hard shell finish. Turtle wax.
Well, I did. I had 2 brands. So they were under the Holtz brand, and I did Odor Kill. I bet you can guess what that did. But we had one version of that, which, interestingly enough, was peach, a special peach that was designed for smokers in cars. How bad's that? That's the 90s for you.
Man.
People smoking in cars. They keep, because it's the UK and it's always raining, they keep the windows up and do that. We had a whole fleet of sales guys who literally did that, and it was just horrific. But it was great for me because they loved the products and they'd sell it like you couldn't believe, because that's what they used to stop their cars smelling of fags. It's disgusting. But anyway, so we had all these different fragrances that we used to do back in those days. And the point is now each mall has their unique fragrance, which is just incredible. But I love the Rove one. It really works.
where this is all leading us to is it's amazing the detours we take. I mean, if you're watching or listening to this podcast,
Is everybody else as detour as I am?
yeah, pretty much.
Oh, thank God. I thought I was the special one there for a moment.
Except Jenna, right on topic. Like
This
she
doesn't
is
surprise me.
just dead on.
She's the pro that makes us all look so amateur.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
To her.
although there was a great line last week when we were on WhatsApp. So those who are watching Doc Talk with Jenna or listening to it, you'll know that we do it on Zoom. And the best line I got on the WhatsApp before is that I'll be 2 minutes. I got to go find a top. And I'm thinking, whoa, this is not Fans Plus.
whoa. I'm sure she means a different top.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
It's a very girly thing, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
If for me it would be James, I'm going to be 2 minutes. I think I need clothes.
Oh man! But so as we were coming up, back
Yes.
on topic,
Right, sorry.
you're typically, and anyone who watches this on the YouTube channel, thank you very much, everyone who does watch it on the YouTube channel. You're typically wearing the black "We Will Fix It" shirt, which is the one I wear when I go jogging because I
Yeah.
do have one, which is, and I do get a lot of waves actually.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so
I get quite a lot from school and all that kind of
I
stuff.
think people recognize the brand. So I try to make sure that I have, I look good.
Thank you, thank you. This is appreciated. Yes, so I'm in the blue essential
in the blue,
maintenance
yeah.
top. One of the points that you
Which I
always make-
actually like better, by the way. I think,
Yeah, I
with the-
agree.
with
I
the blue
agree.
stripe
It works
down there.
better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things you asked me was what's happening at the moment.
Yeah.
And we're currently in September, whenever you're listening to this. And now is the month where everybody's got settled in and go,
Yep.
I want an annual maintenance contract. So we are flying on Essential, like absolutely flying at max pace. And it's wonderful. People are signing up left, right, and centre.
So how
with
does it work?
Essential.
I mean, and this is kind of the interesting thing because you've got a la carte with We
Yes.
Will Fix
Job
It.
by job.
Yeah, which you just call up. Hey, my taps aren't working. Hey, I need my air conditioner. Hey,
And when's the next available slot you've got available?
Right.
So for us, it's an efficiency thing. So we can keep booking really efficiently by doing we call it the ad hoc model. So it's job by job by job. Next available slot is what's available.
Yeah.
But there is no emergency scenario.
right. So if you really need something done, it's like, oh, it's drastic. It's like, yeah, well, we got something in 2 days.
Yeah, well,
Or a
we
day,
hope we can
like
get
what's-
them. Hopefully, we can get them within a day. That's
Okay.
the aim. And quite often we can move things around because we've got that many teams now.
How many teams are you running?
Currently, what are we running at the moment? 40 odd, somewhere around there.
Okay,
I
that's
think.
a lot.
Yeah. So but with Essential, it's a whole different scenario. So it's all the same staff.
Yeah.
But we have service level agreement. So we'll be with you for an emergency within 90 minutes or 5 hours.
Okay.
And that's 24/7, 365.
And is it, when we talk about the essential maintenance contracts that you do for
Yeah.
these things, are there different tiers or is it one size fits all?
See, this is the interesting thing. When we were doing the research on this, everybody has the tiers.
Yeah, well, that's the reason I ask, because
They
I'm
have the bronze, silver, gold. Platinum, right. But the reality of that is, it's all boulder dash.
Oh,
Okay, we know, but at the time when we started the concept of working out what we should do for an annual maintenance business, we'd already done, I think we'd done like in the 90,000 jobs in Dubai.
wow. So you had a lot of research.
Yeah, so we knew exactly what you actually need within a maintenance contract, and more importantly, what you don't.
Okay.
You don't need one of our guys to come around and wash down your driveway
Yeah.
with your water.
Yeah.
You don't need us to spray down your house because actually that's how you end up with render issues. Okay? All these silly things that they add in to charge more is just a total waste of time. What you actually do need is 3 services a year, and you need us available for any emergency that you have within your property quickly. That's what we provide, and nothing more.
Okay.
If you want to bolt on additional services, so things like coil cleaning, duct cleaning, tank cleaning, which sometimes we bundle with it, depending on what people want, then we'll offer you a 25% discount on our standard We Will Fix It rates, and away we go from there. So you get that benefit as well.
Nice.
Now, the other thing is, the other thing that annual maintenance companies do that drives me up the wall is they charge for absolutely everything additional. So things like the gas that supposedly they use for each of the ACs, you get charged for. We've used 4 kilos.
Shouldn't that be included?
Yes, absolutely. But then on top of that, they can't measure 4 kilos. They haven't got the slightest clue, unless they've got some micro scale that they've taken on the roof. They've got no clue how much gas they've actually put into it. That's not true. So that's not honest. So we got this whole list of all of what we call consumables. You know, the reality is, if your fan motor breaks, we can't include that within the price because then our pricing would have to go through the roof to cover that.
Yeah.
So we don't cover those, but consumable items, which is a big long list and shed loads more than most companies will include, is included, without a doubt. If it's hardware, as per always, it's warranted for a year from us.
Do you find more people want to go for the essential maintenance contracts these days? Like there's an uptick where people are realizing, hey, my villa's getting a little bit older, I've just come back from holidays and I've got all these things, I don't want to have to deal with, you know, some of these other plastic bag maintenance guys?
It's a different type of customer on the whole.
Okay.
There's two on the whole that would go for that. There's the first one, which is I just don't want to have to deal with it, which is where you're coming from. And therefore, I just want something where I've paid and then I can forget about it and I can just call them when I need them and everything's fine. So there's that type of customer. The other one is the landlord is a pain in the neck to deal with. So at renewal, if I get into agree that I can have an essential maintenance contract, then at that point, I don't have to chase him as often for maintenance when I know he's going to be a pain in the neck to deal with. And it's generally one of those two camps that we come to. We have other ones, which is great, where we have like some large companies, like property management companies, come to us and say, how much for the portfolio? Because this saves us all the hassle that we're dealing with all these guys who are ripping us off. And instead we'll just deal with you boys, and that works really well for us as well. So it's an interesting business. We always thought that because when we started in 2008, there was only that annual maintenance business. And in those days, everybody was crying out for that job-by-job ad hoc, which is why we will fix it that way. And you know, we weren't demanding a large amount of money up front. We'd go for a job, and if you did it well, you get the call back. Well, everybody called us back, which was great. So we stuck with that for wow. How long was that? 2008. Yeah, probably 10 years. And then it was only at that stage when we went, okay, well, if you turn that business model totally upside down, instead of the traditions of give us all your money up front, we're then going to save as much money as we can by employing cheap people with cheap parts, and then you probably won't renew with us anyway, but we had your money for 1 year. If instead you take the other business model, which is what we have for ad hoc, which is if we do a really good job with qualified people and then we also warranty all of the work that we do, then people will sign up for us for another year. And generally speaking, the only people that don't sign up for us for another year are those people who are leaving Dubai.
There we go.
Which is great. And that's really the name of the game for us. So we've always said whichever brand, whether it's WeWillFixIt or Essential, the service is exactly the same in terms of the quality. And more importantly for us is that people don't leave us for the time that they're in Dubai. We want to have a long-term arrangement with people, and a short-term scenario is just wasteful for us.
So what are people calling in most about right now, September?
See, we've still got a lot of AC, without a doubt. It's you know, we're not yet at the end of the season. There's a slight
compressors,
slowdown.
You know what? I always figure you get compressor issues, you get fan issues. The fan blade's breaking. It's just old. They're out in the sun, and you get the unit in the house is leaking water all over the place because the coil is dirty or the drain is plugged.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it is. If you imagine, a lot of these properties have been left either empty over the summer or alternatively, there's been a maid present who's been running all the ACs, not telling them quite what's going on sometimes.
They're going to notice though when the bill comes in.
Yeah, and then they're just filthy at the end of the summer because obviously they haven't been there to do the servicing. So we've got a lot of catch-up type work that's coming in as well. The other thing that we're doing loads of, because we've got so many essential new customers, we have to get the properties absolutely right before coming onto contract. So we're doing a lot of work on the rectification work before it's up to a standard that we can put it on.
That's a really important part of it, where you go in and inspect and then say, okay, X, Y, Z needs to be fixed, then we can jump into the contract.
Exactly, and then we will offer discounts on that work against the contract as well. So there's a benefit to be gained with that.
Who wouldn't go for that?
Yeah, well, it is. I mean, but that's the thing at the moment. It's going crazily well, and we hugely appreciate it. The other one that's a classic, actually, with annual maintenance contracts, which drove me up the wall when I read it, couldn't believe it, is if you move properties,
Right.
right? So mid-contract, you move properties. Mid-annual maintenance contract, you move properties. Most companies charge you 25% of the original contract to move.
Why? What do they care?
But think about it from from the customer's perspective. Why?
Yeah.
And then from the company's perspective, you really want to have them on a 12-month contract at the new property, don't you? So don't charge them.
So if I move though, you have to come and do another inspection to make sure that I'm up to code with.
I know, but you've got 12 months worth of contract there.
Yeah.
So that's a standard thing that you would deal with. Well, obviously, that's ludicrous. We're not going to charge people for that. We're going to move free of charge mid-contract, and then we get another 12 months out of the next contract, and it's wonderful. So just all it's almost like logic was left out of the majority of the companies here that are doing annual maintenance contracts. And it's lovely to throw that back in and see that all the assumptions that we made during the research process actually worked.
Oh man, that's good. That's very good. I see you looking at the list of my things. What did you think of that?
Garbage. I'll happily talk about it now. The one that really got me, right.
So describe what it is you're looking at.
So right now, James sends through a couple of links normally, which are always interesting. But
they're always chosen to provoke you.
Yeah, oh, well, get ready for the provoking here. The first one that you sent through was about things that you can do with your drill.
Yeah.
Okay, number one on that list is, and I kid you not, listeners, is to get a toothbrush, drill a hole in it, put a screw through it, attach that to your drill, and there you go, you've got an electric toothbrush. Okay? It's only at the end of the article that it says, actually, you're supposed to be using this for cleaning grout on your walls. So I'm literally reading this going, I've already got an electric toothbrush. This is absolutely lethal. What are you on about, James? That's at the end. Oh, a grout cleaner. That's a lot of effort for a grout cleaner.
But isn't that an interesting? When I was watching that and I'm looking at this, so this whole idea of using your drill and using an old toothbrush, you're going to use it. You can be grout cleaning anything, but I was just going, that's really hard to do the drilling.
Yeah.
And to make this.
Well, then there's other ones as well that I thought some of them could work.
I thought I thought the grout cleaner, that was a cool idea.
Yeah, I've got the replacement mixer as well.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I mean, there's issues because who has a handle that thin on a beater? It's like an egg beater that you would say for that. But then I remembered that it darn well how it hurts trying to get some stiff peaks out of egg white. So I could be quite into that one potentially.
I never thought when I saw that, because we do have a whisker like that, and I thought I could try this. And then I'm just thinking, okay, I'm gonna wheel the old drill in. I don't have it cordless at the moment, so I'd be plugging it in.
Can you imagine the speed that's running at?
And then the first time you put it in the bowl and you start running that thing, it's gonna be egg white everywhere.
The best egg whites everywhere. Okay, an apple core, yeah, that could work as well.
So the whole idea, though, is I was watching this. So it's using a wood thing that, what do we call that bit? A spoon bit or something? What do we call that bit?
Yeah. 2 seconds. Oh, spade bit. That's what they
spade
call
bit,
it.
right?
Yeah.
So you're using, I don't know, a 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch spade bit. It's using that into the apple core.
Yeah.
And then you're...
Which you've perfectly centered, obviously.
Yes. And then you're just holding your peeler on the outside.
Because it takes so long to peel an apple. Right. The one that really got me, James, the one where I was like, you are having a giraffe here, was the knife sharpener. Did you read the detail, James, on how you end up with a knife sharpener?
No.
Right, I didn't think you did, because this is how they're suggesting you do it. Take your drill. Now, you know the chuck on a drill, which has the area that you grab hold of with your hand.
Yeah.
This is on a cordless drill rather than it having a key, so a keyless drill. And then basically that bit that you use to be able to tighten up the chuck itself, what they want you to do is to use hot glue, put it all over that and attach sandpaper to it. Yeah, but what about after I've done this 30 seconds of sharpening my knife? I'd actually like my drill back. Oh, no, your drills are right off now, but you sharpen the knife. Yeah, but my drills are right off now.
Yeah.
Yeah, James.
I never got to the last one.
and this is what you sent through. So I'm like,
No one's going to use that.
I was honestly, is he on mushrooms today?
This is bad advice from.
Look, James, you can see that as they're showing that is what we're supposed to do.
Now, my whole thing is, okay, I've put sandpaper on there.
Yeah.
No one sharpens a knife like that.
No, nobody sharpens a knife.
Like, you're not going
like
to take your Miyabi and run it through that. That's.
No, it is very bizarre, without a doubt. By the way, I know you, as you don't have that that cordless yet.
No.
Don't buy it from the certain location you previously said. I mentioned to you about the Stanley.
Yes.
The standard 18-inch lithium-ion. Battery that is just an absolute legend in our place. Works really, really well. 629 dirhams on Amazon.
Really?
Yeah, buy from there. Okay. You can get, actually, Stanley's head office is just on Shakeside Road, so we buy direct from them for about 10 dirhams less because we buy quantity.
Wow.
But the Amazon deal is insane. Without a doubt.
It's amazing now, the stuff you can't get online. When we're talking tools, you go and check them out at the stores and then buy them online.
Guess what I've just done?
Oh, no.
Water filter myself.
Really?
Well, yeah. I decided,
Glenn is a big advocate of the water filters.
Well, I want to get rid of our cooler.
Okay.
Because it's just, lots of things actually. I'm not really an environmental basher.
Yeah.
However, if you can do it, it's a fun project and you end up with the same result. And I'm actually interested in that.
Okay. And you've kind of dabbled with
loads of the water filtering at work.
Yeah.
But I found a really, really slick system which will work on the sink, which I really like the look of. And I think that I can manage it with, we have a TARDIS of a fridge anyway, so I can do jugs in the fridge with it working for us, even though we do use a ridiculous amount of water. So I kind of decided unilaterally that I was going to do it. And
did the CEO approve of this?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
I was gobsmacked. And it was really interesting because initially she was kind of a little bit skeptical, as she's rightly to be when I come to her with absolutely anything. And then when we kind of talked about it some more, it seemed really, really like a good thing to work with. And we can do kind of halfway house initially, which is, okay, let's see whether or not the jugs in the fridge work. If they don't, we'll keep the cooler. So that way I can just fill up the big cooler bottle and away we'll go that way. And then conversely, the company that shall not be named, but they also do Kit Kats, they also supply our water. Decided that they would stop doing the booklets entirely, and I had to go online, download their app, give all my details that way, and away we went. So that kind of put the nail in the coffin for me. I'm like, I do too much of this individual app-based stuff, and I'm just not doing it. So they said, oh, well, you can pay by cash for a little while longer. So I thought, right, a little while longer, huh? I've got your number. So everything, I ordered it yesterday, it's all getting delivered. Obviously, I've got it from all over the world. There's bits coming from the US, there's bits coming from Amazon as well, actually. And then there's bits that we'll get locally to basically put it all together.
When do you project you're going to start the installation process?
The first week of October.
Okay.
So, that's, so what's that, 3 weeks away? No, 2 weeks away. No, second week of October, 3 weeks away.
All right, so we will do a complete podcast on that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be really interesting. There's loads of companies that do it here, and they do it very, very well. But in the end, I just wanted a bit of a project. And so I kind of thought, actually, I enjoyed doing the research and working out exactly what to do, how to do it. And it is very DIY-able, without a doubt. Right. And the fact that all, as you say, the bits are now available on Amazon means that it's easy to do yourself.
Well, I'm looking forward to our next podcast when I send you another link of, look what I found on Google.
I do love them, James. It's a great way of researching what not to do.
Exactly. I think that's ultimately the lesson is this is what you shouldn't be doing. And I think as much as we talk about the cool stuff we are doing, beware, because some of these things are just foolish. And Colin Thomas joining us here on the podcast. It's the Essential Maintenance We Will Fix It podcast. Everything you wanted to know and more about pretty much everything DIY. And of course, if you were afraid to ask, this is where you ask it. Colin, thank you very much.
Always a pleasure.
Talk to you again real soon. My name is James Pikeway.